Well, Pastor Bill, in my own head, I call you the James Brown of the Christian world because you are by far the hardest working man in ministry that I know. Still driving that bus. You were shot by a sniper in 2017. You've been stabbed. You've been beat up. You even had a group of guys tried to light you on fire. So many things have happened to you in your tenure with Metro World Child. And right at the outset of this, I want to ask a question of you. Now, I'm running the risk of asking a stupid question because this is a question I know the answer to. But I do believe that in the answering of this question, it will be very, very beneficial to hear how you answer it to people. So here's the question. Is it worth it? And let me texture this just a little bit too, because I want people to know at home some of the stuff that you've seen. You've seen people who volunteer for you, a woman in particular who was dragged off the bus as she was going to pick up kids for Saturday Sunday school, and then beat up and raped and left on top of a roof naked and bleeding. You've seen the kids that you've sown so much into shot down, gunned down in the street. You've seen parents take the things that you give those kids that you've served so diligently, take those things and then sell them for drugs. So I know the obvious, easy answer, but when you take into account all that you've done and all that you've seen over your 40 years of ministry, is it worth it?
I'm not sure I could preach this from a pulpit because the folks that are less astute in their biblical knowledge would not get it. But let's go back to the four kinds of ground.
Yeah.
The parable of the four kinds of ground. Okay. All right. Thorny, stony, wayside, good ground. All right. My responsibility is not to try to differentiate or determine what kind of ground is out there, because number one, I can't. Number two, it's not my place.
Yeah.
But to me, when you look at the seed that's been sown, take it from the parabolic standpoint from the Gospels, or take it from the ghetto standpoint right here in New York City. You've got 25%, 25%, one falls on the good ground. So you've got 1/4 of those illustrations where it's good ground, the seed takes root and grows. And I'm going to tell you something. And probably I'm one of the few people that can say this, so I'll share it with you. I've done this long enough to tell you that even by today's standards and all the hundreds of thousands, over a million now, of the people that I've worked with here, it's almost the same. It's 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. Now, some people would say 1 out of 4, that's not, even though that's actually more than even Billy Graham had when he had his crusades, when they did the follow-up. But here's how I see it. That's not anything discouraging for me. What it is for me, it's a challenge for mass evangelism. Because if this 25% illustration seems to be characteristic of our cultures and societies, which it seems to be, then to me, we've got to get the gospel to as many people as we can. We've got to be in front of as many people as we can.
Catch new episodes of Indie Thinker with Reed Uberman for free right now by going to YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Simply type Indie Thinker with Reed Uberman in the search bar and click on my face. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to stay informed when a new episode drops.